Good morning, my dear students. Holiness Jagadguru Dr. Nadoja, Anadanishwara Mahasivayogigalu said that one of the most important principal statements and philosophical statements, ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದಿಂದ ಕರತುಂಬಬೇಕು, ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದಿಂದ ಹೊರತುಂಬಬೇಕು, ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವು ಕಾಯಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣವಾಗಬೇಕು, ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದಿಂದ ಹೃದಯ ಮತ್ತು ಭಾವನೆಗಳು ಸಂವೇದನಗೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೃಡಗಿರಿಯ ಅನ್ನದಾನೀಶ. Students, friends, become first semester students. Already we have discussed as meaning, importance, objectives of the business economics. Today we are going to discuss about the role and social responsibilities. An important issues which concern business economics is to show the relation between business, firms and society. What is firm and what is the society? Firm means production units. What role does business firm play in a society? Do they behave in a socially responsible to the manner, serve social interests, or merely maximize their private profits at the expense of social welfare? These are the issue of business economics, which we now analyze. Business economics clarifies the role business firm play in a society and also suggests way of improving the benefits which firm provide to the society. What role does business firm play in a society? Especially for business economics, mainly concerned to the various economic activities. The vital role which business firms play in increasing social welfare is quite clear. It is due to the working of business firms that a high rate of economic growth. In advanced countries, already properly development of the business activities, so therefore high level maintenance of the high rate of economic growth to that countries. We are coming to that our Indian economic system. In Indian economic system, because the lack of the business activities, so therefore slow growth rate of economic growth. So then we have comparative study of the business performance, business activities in advanced countries as well as the developing countries. I think benefits of this economic growth, the high rate of economic growth has resulted in improving social well-being and removing poverty. According to the Adam Smith, the father of economics, especially he has given the one of the most important statement about the business economics. Business firms have greatly increased the wealth of nation. It means what happens, the volume of output of goods and services to the increase in particular nation, as a result increase to the wealth, increase to the wealth with supported to the nations, especially in the capitalist economy, capitalist economic system. The social benefit conferred by business firms on the communities, or despite the fact the business work to maximize their profits, or maximize the volume of their firms. In their bid to maximize profits, business firms organize the work of production by engaging and combining the various productive resources and bringing about coordination between them. The supply of capital, labor, raw materials, and other resources received reward from the firms for their contribution to the production of the goods and services. These business firm generates income and employment for labor, the owner of capital, land, and other resources. The supply of the most important factors of the production: land, labor, capital, and organization. So both factors of the production, these are also called as resource in economics. You have systematically utilized to the all kinds of the resource, then proper development of the proper generate to the income and employment to the people, in particularly nation. The one more benefits to the proper development of the business activities will contribute to the well-being of the society. I think consumers to have gained from increasing quantity of goods and services produced by business firms for their consumption. Apart from the gain to the resource, owners and consumers, business firms contribute a good deal of revenue to the government, especially for taxes on profits, excise duties on their production, sales tax on the goods produced by them, and other such taxes yield lot of public revenue, which are used by the government to expand the services provided by it and to increase public investment for economic growth. All the above mentioned contributions of business firms. What are the contribution to the business firms to the country, to the nation? Business firm to contribute economic growth, not only economic growth, but also it contribute to the social well-being to the society. Social well-being mainly depend on the efficiency with which they use natural resources and allocate them among products and services. A fundamental question that has been obtained raised is how business firms within their productive activities are guided by maximization of private profits, work to increase social welfare. One of the most important answer to the question was provided by the Adam Smith. Adam Smith is the author of now well-known classical economist. Published in the main important book is Wealth of Nation. He advocating for a pre-marketing system. He clarifies the role of business in promoting social well-being despite the fact that it pursues the goal of profit maximization. My dear students, you have to attention about the subject. Adam Smith argues, what he argues that it is profit driven marketing system that drive business firms to promise welfare through their work for private sign, private private gain. It is worth quoting him. Every individual endeavors to employ his capital so that it produce maybe greatest value. He generally neither intends to promote the public interest nor knows how much he is promoting. He intends only his own security, only his own gain. He is the led by an invisible hand to promote an end which was not part of his intention. By pursuing his own interest, he frequently promotes that of society more effectively than when he really intends to promote it. The next concept is social responsibility of business. Now, an important question is whether successful business firm always behave in a social responsible, that is promote social well-being without harming, and that answer is no. Some argues that businesses exist by public consent to serve the needs of society. Therefore, they serve only because they promote social welfare. However, this is not correct. Various problems are faced by society because of socially undesirable way business firms perform their activities. Further, they impose certain social costs on the society for which they do not pay. However, society has taken very important steps to regulate and control them so as to induce or force them to serve social interests as well as the minimize the harms. We mentioned below the social undesirable problems which the workings of profit driven business firms have created and how society has tried to regulate and their activities to ensure that they work in public interest. First problem that has been obtained faced is emergence of monopolies in free market economics for the production of some important products or services. So, for example, economics of large scale production and distribution are such that only one electricity producing and distribution company, only one company providing telephone services can efficiently serve a city. Such a monopolistic firms are likely to exploit the consumers by charging higher prices and making excessive profits. It is in such cases that governments, on behalf of the society, has intervened to the directly regulate them. The government has fixed fair prices for such commodities or services which are based on cost plus fair return on investment made by business firms. The second problem posted by free private business is emergency of oligopoly, especially for oligopoly producers of a product competing with each other. In certain industries, economics of scale are so large or barriers to entry into the industry are so strong that only a few firms serve a given market if there exists competition among these few firms. And such a collusion model among the oligopoly marketing system, the few firms eliminate or substantially reduction competition. Such collusion among firms or formation of cartel leads to higher monopoly price being charged and restriction of outputs. Such a collusion or formation of a cartel has been sought to be controlled by the society through enacting law such as antitrust law in United States of America. Even today, monopolistic restricted trade practice act, one of the most important trade practice act. This act in our country designed to prevent collusion among firms and creation of monopolies through mergers. By promoting competition, these law work for social betterment of the people and social responsibility of business. So therefore, a further socially undesirable activity of pre-private business has been the exploitation of workers due to unequal bargaining power of the employers and workers. In India, in private business enterprises, especially owned and managed by small scale business firms, workers are paid very low wages because they are not well organized, and also because a huge unemployment prevails in the Indian economy. Today, coronavirus pandemic situation, whether it is bad effect to our Indian economic system, and there is a big loss of business activities in our country, and not only in our country but also in world economic system. And therefore employers even do not make arrangements for their housing, which have resulted in slums in the cities. Further, child labor and women are employed in private enterprises at very low wages, while a lot of work is obtained from them. This has necessitated the regulation of business by the government, which has fixed minimum wages that must be paid to workers. The employment of child labor has been banned. Law regarding equal pay for equal work are being enforced, under which women are to be paid equal wages and men. But a very serious problem that arises in business activities that it imposes heavy social costs economy. It is now common knowledge that productive activities of business firms have created acute problem of environmental pollution. They dump their toxic wastes into the air and water. The pollution creates lung ailments, asthma, and other health hazards for the people. These are also called social costs by the economists, because while the firms impose these costs on the society, they do not pay for them. Often they do not provide safeguards so that undue smoke and other poisonous gases are not emitted by them. At present, before last time, Bhopal gas tragedy is a shining example of how private business firms neglect their social responsibility by not providing adequate safeguards for leakage and emission of poison gases. Now, a considerable attention is being paid by the society to internalize these social costs, that is, private business firms are forced to pay for the social costs. Safety standards are being laid down to the emission limits on manufacturing process and products that pollute the environment. Provision of heavy fines has been made who do not provide adequate safeguards. Firms that do not meet these safety standards are even closed down. It may be noted that all the above measures, namely regulation of monopolies, uh, antitrust laws, labor laws, and anti-pollution policies are examples of actions that society has taken to modify the profit maximizing behavior of business. Today, the most important aim of business profit maximization profit maximization from the systematic development of the business activities in particular nation. These social constraints have an important bearing on the business activities of firms and hence on managerial decision making. And the next one is social responsibility and value maximization model of the firm. With the above constraints imposed by the society on the working of business enterprises, does the value or profit maximization model of the firm remain adequate when issue of social responsibility are included in it? Answer to the question is an affirmative. There are two ways in which the economic model of the firm's utility, validity, read importance, dispute, the social efforts to modify behavior of business firms. One way is so far that the social efforts are confined to inducements in the form of suitable physical and monetary measures such as taxes, subsidies, concessional rates of interest. These measures can easily incorporated in the value of maximization model of the firm. The second type of social measures, such as licensing laws, anti-pollution measures, labor laws, etc., can be considered as constraints of the model of the firms, and the managers have to take into account these constraints in decision making. Especially in the business firm, decision making is very important aspect. If the businessman, so proper development of the any activities, first it will take to that decision making. Now this decision making, it is related to the managerial economics with constraint imposed on the business firms so that they should organize in social responsible manner, makes the decision making model as an constraint maximization of the particular firm. I think we have concluded that uh, the makes the process of decision making as a constrained decision making by managers. In this sense, economic model of the firm still retains it useful dispute the measures adopted to ensure social responsibility of business firms. Therefore, all of you students, uh, you have attention about the role and responsibility of the business economics. You can systematically observe this video to prepare notes, and any doubts we will ask the one more question in chat box, and this is role and responsibility of the business economics. We have concluded that lastly already I want to say that business is the part of economics. Business activities created from development of the economic activities. Today, business economics is very useful to the how development of the business activities in particularly nation. Therefore, the study of role and responsibility of the business economics very useful to the subject, very useful to the knowledge, not only students but also businessmen to the society, to the social responsibility. All of you watching this video, thank you, one and all.